Cultural Arts Center could be coming to East Gainesville. TV20's Hawa Azel tells us exactly what city commissioners are envisioning.
The Cotton Club Museum and Cultural Center was packed with city leaders and residents who'd like to see a new type of cultural center put into their community. Gainesville City Commissioner Desmon Duncan-Walker led a panel Saturday night with Marshall Davis, the director of Miami's African Heritage Cultural Arts Center, and Gainesville native Marion Caffey, the director of the Apollo Theater in New York. They discussed the benefits of having a cultural arts center in East Gainesville that embraces cultural traditions and history through artistic platforms. Walker says the center is something the community is asking for.
Well, East Gainesville specifically needs a cultural arts center because when I talk to many of the youth these days, some of the things that they're telling us is they need places to go, they need things to do, they need mentors, and they need jobs.
The event featured musical performances and visual art.
I also understand the power of the arts in supplementing education, reducing recidivism. The arts are such a powerful tool.
Andrew Persons, the chief operating officer of the city of Gainesville, says he's inspired by the impact centers like these can have.
An aspect of what we're doing here tonight is talking about other examples of cultural arts centers around the country and how they've had an impact on the communities that they're located in.
City officials say they plan to present a feasibility study on the potential center to the commission by March. In Gainesville, Hawa Azel, TV20 News.